Yay. Oh, gosh. Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I hope I actually got on. Last week was a really tough time getting on. And yesterday I wasn't on at all. So welcome to the show. If you're here, please say hello. I need people to chat with me more than ever. I am kind of losing it here with this whole corona crazy virus thing. So don't be shy, because everyone's, I think, a little bit lonely and locked in and feeling kind of vulnerable. I'm just guessing. So let me just get my stuff straightened out. Oops, that wasn't it. And I will go from there. There we go. Let me just straighten this. Kitchen politics. Welcome. Glad you're here. Oh my goodness. So this week's discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry. It's actually anti-racism, anti-bigotry, racism, anti-racism, anti-bigotry, inequality, and corruption in this nation. And unfortunately, that's kind of a lot. Tonight's show is not going to be very long, so I'm going to go kind of fast. And you can definitely call in tonight if you want. So let me get going. The show's meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind, but also serve as an educational tool for white folks or majority group members who want to learn about people that maybe don't look like them, don't pray like them, don't, do a lot of things like them. So don't be shy, and it really is real talk. So we don't, make everything pretty. So feel free to express yourself. If you express yourself too much, you get kicked off. No, I'm just kidding. But it's been a rough day, guys. I want to introduce myself to people who might watch this in reruns and people who don't know maybe who I am. I am Angry Soccer Mom, more hurt, devastated, than angry, really. And my kids don't play soccer. So there we are. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please check out my videos. I do rants and educational, nice videos that are very sweet and proper and make everyone feel happy, but they're still real. And then mostly everything's in between. So I try to put everything up there that people would want to see. And then throw in a few weird, strange things as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so and ring the bell. I have a couple of announcements to make. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, I've decided to cancel my Tuesday night show. Oh my gosh, a call-in already? This is exciting. Hello.
Hey, Angry Soccer Mom. How are you doing?
I'm David. Doing fine. Hi, David. Mm-hmm. I didn't even get through the announcements.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm so respectable and decent tonight. I'm not excited. I'm just over it. You know why? Because, for the past how many months, since last December, and again in January, the President of the United States, he was told and briefed about the coronavirus. But this man, he did nothing. No contingency plan. Mm-hmm. No matter where you are in the world, it's going to reach. Because in a globalized world, where everything is, barriers broken down, free trade, whatever, things may happen. Yeah. So this clown, this buffoon that we have in the White House, instead of putting up the necessary protections to protect the American people, like, for example, Mike DeWine, the Republican governor in Ohio, and Gretchen Whitmer, the Democrat in Michigan, those two governors, and Governor Cuomo leading the way in terms of trying to fight this thing and help people. And the President of the United States, who's a bully and who, have this ego bigger than the whole universe, wants to, praise me or you don't get what you need. I mean, how can you have a president with that sort of shitty attitude, where people dying? And he even said, if 200 people, die, then, that would be good. Well, I mean, who the hell is this son of a bitch?
Yeah, it's been surreal, hasn't it? And you know what? you're stealing my rant because I am going to rant
Oh.
like crazy about it. But that's okay because I think you will very much relate. I wrote a rant pretty much going off on him without getting kicked off YouTube, which wasn't easy.
Right.
But
Right.
absolutely. So let me jump through my announcements. And I feel you. This has been Sir freaking real.
He is, and then Mike Pence now, you know, Mike Pence, for example, saying, "Oh, instead of being on our computers, we should be on our knees praying." I mean, Jesus Christ, going on our knees praying.
Let's pray the virus away, or we could just use science. But you know, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, but you know,
like,
an idiot like Pence, who's like Christian, or so he claims. You know, that, oh, God will solve everything, blah, blah, blah. You know, the fire, the CDC pandemic team, who, you know, are masters at trying to find a cure or, you know, something to, like, stop it. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just, and for the past 2 hours, I've been talking to a Republican friend of mine back and forth. And, you know.
You shouldn't do that to yourself.
Mean, she's a good person, but she still supports Trump. And even though, sure facts. You know what? Okay, so he did this, that Republican Party did this, and that. Why do you support them still?
David,
you know, it's like, yes.
I got to jump in. I have some very strong feelings about people who support Trump. I really do. And I know that people can be nice and can be really, really not nice and somewhere in between is about where everyone lays. But I'll be, you know, this is real talk. I really have to say, if you're a Trump supporter, you are not actually a nice person. I can say you can be a nice person, but I'm sorry, you support a man who wants to take away our fellow humans' civil rights and human rights. And I'm sorry to say, I am so over being all sweet and darling about this.
Yeah.
He wants to take away our... I'm sorry, there's nothing. You know what? People can say, I'm not racist. I'm not this. They can say all they want. And I'm not putting you down. You know I love you. But if you support Trump, then at minimum, it wasn't a deal breaker for you. All the racism.
Yes.
And,
exactly.
You know,
and no, not me, but the person who I've been speaking to for the past 2 hours.
Oh, no, I know that.
I mean, I'm not trying to change them, but I'm trying to show them, okay, you know, like different examples.
I try to change them.
Went through the list. I was like, sure, budge. I'm like, oh my God, I give up.
Yeah. Well, it's really at this point in the game, you know, some of us, and there's ignorance, but you see, at this point, it's ignorance that it's basically you're not trying. I mean, come on, it's purposeful. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. He is inhumane.
None.
And I bless you for trying. And I'm not religious. Oh, hi, Mr. FS.
And one more thing before I go. This healthcare thing, you know, I'm pro Bernie Sanders, you know, and who wouldn't want, you know, healthcare for all, you know, free education, which is not free.
Call on me, I'll tell you who. Right. I'll tell you, but go ahead.
You know, and these corporations who haven't paid taxes in how many years? I mean, there are over like 30 of them last year alone. So with them paying taxes, this free education and healthcare for all could be paid for. You know,
it's all very obvious.
You know, when people hear socialism, they think, oh, Marxist-Leninism, Bernie's are communists, Democrats are communists.
That's ignorance.
You know,
I mean, that's ignorance.
I mean,
that's
just ignorance.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe they didn't. You know, I don't know what they were smoking in school or whatever, but that's total ignorance. But you are a sweetheart. I'm gonna jump back to the announcements because I have a couple really big announcements to make, as you might know. And call in later because I think I'm going to trigger you in this thing because I'm going to be talking about some stuff that you're going to be like, it's definitely been really tough. Right. But thank you for Thank you so much for calling in. You're a sweetheart.
Yes,
okay. Bye. Leslie 45 says he's not responsible for all this shit. Let's look back. When did it stop being a hoax? Exactly. You're all stealing my lines. I am going to finish with announcements and I'm going to start my rant. And I'm hopefully going to have so many people triggered that they're like, no, I'm just kidding. This has been more emotional than I Thank you. That was the word, Mr. FS Black. Willful ignorance. I'm so like just kind of all over the place. That was what I was looking for. Willful ignorance. That's the word. Thank you. I just, when I get all like flustered, I forget words. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm not going to have Tuesday night shows, but this show you can call into, and I have the number right here with no way to really post it. But if you want the number, which I'd love people to call in until it becomes a problem and then not so much. And it's only a problem because trolls get the number. So please don't give it away to naughty people who just, are trying to be obnoxious. The number is 347-732-5284. I'll say it one more time, because I know people probably, if you want the number to call in, it's 347-732-5284. And I'd love to have people call in. I'm going to keep going with the announcements. And if you missed it, I can do it again. Ghost Killa, hello. Yay, I'm happy you're here. Thank you so much for being here. This has been really crazy. My second announcement, other than the Tuesday live show is going to be put off for a while, if not permanently. I'll tell you why in a minute. I have a friend of mine who's very dear to me, Neil. Oh my gosh. Kendrick, welcome. Oh, I'm so excited to have people here. Thank you so much for being here. And again, please, when you, my day was so busy, I couldn't see straight. I can't remember the word willful ignorance. So that should say it all. Thanks for asking. When you come to this show, I want you to be able to be real. It doesn't have to be nasty, but be real, because that's what this is here for. I want to know how I know a lot of people probably feel like, just go for it. Put it out there, because I will feel what you have to say. And if I don't, I'll ask questions. My quick announcement is that I have a friend who is having some really, really rough times. And I don't even know if this is going to fit, because I think, we started doing a GoFundMe. We're doing a GoFundMe for him. He is, and it's really sad, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to be very mature, which lots of luck with that. He has no insurance, and he's going blind in one eye. He has a disorder that is curable, but he has to have surgery. So I'm putting this out there so that I'm hoping people will spread it around. I know people are really, my God, it's a pandemic. But if you can spread it around, maybe it'll get to some like rich people, or, maybe you're a rich person, be your best friend. No, I'm just kidding. Tomax, hello. Welcome to the show. So I'm going to talk about that in my third thing, and then I will get going on all my stuff for tonight. I wanted to tell you, and I'm so excited. This is crazy. I talked to this guy last night that my friend Neil found for me to do an interview with. And this is just, I cannot explain how perfect. He's 98 years old. I talked to him for a long time last night. Sweetheart, such a nice, down-to-earth man. His name is Billy Shelton, and he was one of the Spaniels. And I don't know if you follow 50s music or the original doo-wop and everything like that, but he's in the we call it the Music Hall of Fame. I obviously will be studying a little bit more. And he is 98 years old. And he's a Black man. So he is going to come on and do an interview about what everything was like. He lived it. The man's like almost 100. So he's just amazing. And I'm so thrilled. And we're going to do it Friday. And I can't wait. It's just, I love being able to, I want to know. The way I look at it is, as a white person, if you don't know our real racial history, and a lot of it, and how, then you don't know how today's social problems in modern time were created. So your opinion, no offense, is just kind of one of ignorance. If you don't know our real racial history, then you don't have the historical perspective. So it's so important for white folks to study this and not learn it on the internet like on Facebook. No. You need to do your research. And it's fascinating, terrifying, but it answers questions. It answers questions that you're thinking. And once you start as a white person, you can't stop, because the truth really will set you free. And I know that sounds really cliche and goofy, but it will. So that's why I do a lot of the videos that I do and the live shows. And I'm just thrilled for this interview. I can't wait. I'm kind of nervous too, but all right. Neil, I talked to him today and he's looking forward to doing the interview. Oh, thank you so much, Neil. What a find. Neil's got serious connections. Thank you so much. And then this guy, oh my God, he's telling me all these, not bragging, but he's telling me, thank you. Oh, Michael, thank you. He's telling me all these people he knew. I'm like, okay. And there's like all these famous people, and he's going to tell us. And I told him, don't be shy. You tell it like it is. And he's great. You guys are going to love him. So I just, when you just meet somebody and you're like, damn, this guy is amazing. So for tonight's topics, I had kind of a rough time. My first I don't have too many topics. So if you guys want to talk about stuff, go for it. I have two main topics. One of which is my rant, which I think you'll all relate to a little too much. And the second one is that our Supreme Court just made it a hell of a lot easier to discriminate against Black people in America. And all other people, it won't be just Black people, because they'll use this as a precedent for whoever they can. And white folks, get a load of this. And this is something I mean with all my heart. If you think this isn't something you need to understand, and I'm not trying to be mean, you are so sadly mistaken. When a law, a court, or anybody, okay, Trump, the sicko, chooses to target a group of people, your group or my group or our group is next. It might take a year, it might take 10 years, it might take a week. Just like Martin Luther King said, just like Martin Niemöller said, it's been said over and over and over. When one group loses their civil rights or is threatened or abused, it's just a matter of time. Everybody's rights are abused. And we just don't seem to get that in America. At least a lot of the white folks don't. And I'm telling you, nothing has rung more true. Nothing. Okay, I'm getting on a rant. Sorry. Leslie, Kim, a high percentage of white people don't want to know the past history. They look at it as if they're on the winning team. So why look back on how they got there? And, and I get that. And talk about living a lie. Jesus. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's like, yay, I'm great. When like in your head, no, you're not. If the best thing you ever did in your life is get born white, you didn't do that. I'm sorry. That's not a skill. That's not something you worked hard at. That's a character flaw. And I'm not trying to be nasty, but and unless I know that. And eventually those people will be very, very Ronald. Yay. Hello. Thanks for being here. Eventually those people are, at some point, it'll catch up to them or their kids, because people like that, what they do is they continue the cycle of severe overt racism. The children are watching. Children don't come out that way. They get born, yay, let's play. They don't care what, where, when. They just want to play. And they're taught. You are literally taught to become a racist in this society. And it's not just your parents, and it's not just your teachers, and it's so many factors, and it's ugly. Gus Keller, Leslie, it scares the living hell out of them. The truth will come out one day. I don't get that, why it scares people so much. But I don't get a lot of things. So, hey, I kind of stopped trying to understand it. I don't want to understand it. I just want to find ways to help stop it, kind of. Tomax. Facts. Yeah. For me, the truth is just, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'm like a nerd or something or whatever, but the truth is like, it makes sense to me. I'm like, oh, okay. That it just puts the pieces together. It makes my thoughts and world complete. I want to know the truth. I will take the truth any day, even over a lie that makes me feel better any day. The system programs people, absolutely, Mr. FS. It's like a brainwashing. I'm dead serious. It's like a brainwashing. The more I learn, well, you all probably know better than me. But anyway, I'm not here to be anyone's hero. I'm not here to get my picture on Facebook because it's not possible now that I'm kicked off on Facebook. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not here to be in a march and have people think, oh, wow, I'm here. Guess why? Selfish reason in the world. I can't stand injustice. It's like something in me turns me like evil. But anyway, enough about that. I will keep going. I'm just thrilled that people are here. I know this pandemic's got to just, I don't know how people are doing it. I do not know how people are doing it. So I have a rant that's a fast rant with a lot of facts, and some of it you'll probably easily know, and some of it you'll maybe be like, what? Because I'm trying to find some obscure things to keep people, because I know the people who watch this show are extremely intelligent and they keep up with the news. So me just spewing the news, kind of boring, but I'm just happy you're here. I want to know what you think. So I'm going to start my rant. And even if tonight's show is a short show, then so be it. I'm really happy to have people here. This means the world to me. It's, call me crazy. People do. But anyway, I don't take responsibility at all. A quote from him, the supposed president. I feel ridiculous doing a rant, another rant, yet another one on Trump's huge failings, because it makes me sound like, well, she doesn't get the big picture. There had to be people voting for Trump to want Trump. There had to be people who support him. Well, I get the picture, and I do get that. But right now, we have a psycho. We have a pathological liar and an effing psycho in our White House, and it's like I'm telling you something you don't know. And he's, it's kind of ridiculous for me to keep talking about him over and over. But the problem is he's killing people. The last big screw up of his, which is ongoing as we speak, has deadly consequences. So I truly believe he is a mentally ill human being, and the people around him, shame on them. Beyond shame on them, but I don't want to get kicked off. YouTube keeps warning me, like, don't say bad things. So they are unconscionable for supporting somebody like that. I hold them absolutely responsible. And at some point, I'm going to make this video out of a letter I wrote 4 years ago to the senators. And the reason I hesitate to make a video out of it is because it's a lot about me, and very personal stuff about me. And I think I come across as arrogant in it. Like, I'm saying, I don't get you because this is who I am. Who are you? And so I think I might get a lot of crap for it, or I might come across as arrogant, and that's something I don't want to be ever. So long story. Anyway, goes Killa. I hear people downplaying American slavery all the time. They say things like other countries had slavery that makes American slavery look like a joke. Oh, please. These people who do that are unstinking believable. The gall they have, it's like, if somebody said that to me, I honestly, I don't even know what, I'd be like, I'm out. I'm going to walk away slowly. Hope they don't have a weapon. I mean, that's crazy. They're crazy. Denying systemic racism and chattel slavery in 2020. That's a person who's off the freaking rocker. I'm so sorry people do that to you. I'm so privileged. I don't have to. There's some people they're. I don't get it if it's like some sort of mental thing, or I don't get it. But please don't listen to them. That's awful. I had one person maybe say that to me before, and I just looked at them and and this was in person. Really? Tell me more. I said, so raping, branding, I said, all those things, those don't seem, there comes a point where there's nothing worse than, okay, I'm not going to get into it, but no, that's terrible. People are unfreaking believable. So I find Trump to be pretty much a very, very mentally disturbed man who is supported by his clan, the co-conspirators who are supported by their constituents. He was lying in early 2020 when he told us that everything was okay with the coronavirus. And most recently, he was lying again. I mean, the lies never end, telling us that history is really reversed and that he knew all along it was a pandemic. But, anyway, Mr. F.S. Black, there's a combination of ignorance and arrogance to downplay chattel slavery. Yes. In fact, I use those words in my writing, ignorance and arrogance in the extreme. It's unbelievable. Obviously, people have it, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. Thanks for your comment. The first case of coronavirus was January 20 that we knew of in the U.S. was January 21st, supposedly 2020. And if I get anything facts mixed up, please tell me. I'm not like, these are the facts. I did my research and I had to write it up pretty fast. February 7th, the World Health Organization sounded the alarm saying that there was a shortage of personal protective equipment worldwide. They said the demand for equipment was 100 times on February 7th, 100 times the normal demand. Okay. On that same day, February 7th, 2020, the Trump administration facilitated sending 17.8 tons of donated medical supplies to China to combat the spread of the coronavirus. He sent them that day. Also at this time, Trump and Fox News were repeatedly calling the coronavirus a Democratic hoax. They said it was another attempt for the Democrats to overthrow his administration. Personally, I think he should be personally held liable for the deaths of people. I agree with Nancy Pelosi 100%. He is absolutely, and let me tell you why. I'm not just because I dislike his character, not because I think he's basically, well, I won't get into it. Not because of that, though there are real reasons. Okay, so an overthrow, a hoax. Yeah, they downplayed the severity of the virus, saying it was absolutely under control and that, the weather was going to make it go away, whatever. That was just plain strange. But now, during the last week, reporters are repeatedly throwing Trump's words back at him in his face because they're his words. And they're doing it pretty nicely. They're just saying, you said this, not being jerks. But Trump's telling them they're asking horrible questions, trying to cause him trouble. It's like, it's not about you, dude. Do you not get this? He denies he ever said the hoax thing. He denies the man is absolutely off his freaking rocker. He twists words and pretends that he never said things. We have him on tape. He doesn't care. And I'll tell you, his followers are brainwashed, as we all, or something's wrong with them because they won't stop watching Fox News. They just won't stop. He's truly a con man and a pathological liar. Now he's saying he knew all along before anyone else. Let me see here. So things are getting crazy. Ghost Killer. Nope. Whoops. I already read yours. Sorry about that. Kitchen politics. He's a lying sack of dog. You know what? Who should be locked away in a mental asylum wearing a straitjacket? I say, send him to Austria where a panel of Freudian disciples can do their PhD on him. And still, I don't know. He's, his family's a co to him. His clan that he surrounds him with is a co to him. This isn't funny. It was never funny, but this is really scary. I actually, for the first time, I have to admit, I was really scared this week listening to him, the little psycho that he is. And I'm not trying to name call. I'm venting, and a lot of people are venting, and I get it. Let me see here. Kitchen politics. He only sent them because #Kremlin Barbie Ivanka has sweatshop factories there. He knew. and no set of contingency plans. He needs to be in a mental institution. Prison is too good for his sorry something Trump. I can tell you like him like I do. Ghost Killer, it's always the guy from the alt-right trying to rewrite history. Yeah, I don't really get this rewriting history thing. It's out of control. It's kind of what we white folks do, though. And it's a really bizarre thing. It's really messed up. It's just a certain, I hate to say this, like a special place in hell for people who deny reality in order to further harm people. So anyway, he says now he knew all along of course he knew all along before anyone else that that he knew it was a pandemic and he simply was acting to calm the country. Oh, please. I mean, seriously? So if that were really the case and he knew how severe the problem was, then why did he send crucial supplies to China rather than our own states? Because he's a lying sack of you-know-what. Okay. Another Trump lie. I don't know if you guys knew that he sent these things. But another Trump lie is that no one saw this coming. Seriously, no one could have predicted how severe and contagious this virus is. Yeah, they could. I work for a company in China. I talk to Chinese folks every single day. Maybe I skip Sundays. I've been talking to them for months and months and months. Yeah, we could. Nobody saw it coming. Then why is he sending supplies? He's full of shit. He's a lying, you know what. Then I saw a video. Today, and I'm going to put it on my channel and I don't know if you love him, hate him, don't know enough about him to Bill Gates. I just saw a video that shows as far back as 2015, Bill Gates has been preaching to him and to the world about this exact scenario. He did a TED Talk in 2015. Gates preached the need for world preparedness. In fact, the Obama administration responded to the Ebola epidemic and the three epidemics that he had. He created a response team with a task force that had representation with the National Security Council to oversee and coordinate both national and international pandemic responses, but Trump got rid of them. And his early administration took action to disband them. And when Trump says, I inherited this, he is even more full of it because this is like his fourth freaking year. He inherited it and let's say he did inherit it, which is absolutely false. He waited 4 years to do nothing. I'm sorry. The man isn't even a good liar. I always tell my children, if you have to lie, you better be good at it. And I'm mostly joking, but it's crazy. He's the worst liar. He doesn't even, it's crazy. So the Trump administration took action to disband this team, saying that he didn't really need to pay for a pandemic response team when there was no pandemic. He said he could always just hire them back. I mean, the man is crazy. As Chris Cuomo of CNN stated, when you send troops to war, you don't wait till they're under fire to give them bullets. I mean, my God, I'm sorry. A young child of probably 5 or 6 knows how to be proactive. I'm talking about like this man is supposed to be running our country. It's terrifying. Let me take some comments. They're making people pay for getting tested. Well, he claims that, you can get tested for free, but there's no tests as of today. Well, we'll get into that, but yeah, he is so, honestly, I don't think he understands. He lies every word of he just lies and lies and lies. I don't believe a word he says, even when I think, that could sound right. But then I go, you know what? He's a liar. So I don't believe a word he says. He is unbelievably full of it. Let me see. Mr. FS Black. This country has $2 trillion to spend on COVID-19 bailout, but refuses to pay reparations to the descendants of chattel slavery in America. Thank you. That's disgusting. Talk about being full of it. This country came up with that money so fast we couldn't see straight. And obviously we don't have it yet. And they are putting more and more restrictions on it, which I have serious problems with, because the restrictions are going to be on the groups that are the most abused, most marginalized, and most harmed by our systemic racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption. My new buzzword. Yeah, there's going to be, we can get into that if you guys want to talk about some of the ways people are going to be not getting their check. I mean, people are going to starve. This is crazy. This is crazy. I know people who are like middle class, upper middle class, who are barely scraping by right now. What are people going to do who are already having, this is terrifying. And then having hymns, like, it's like, why do you, I don't remember what movie, but why do you cut their heart out with a spoon? Because it hurts more. Somebody told me what movie that was. I mean, he just keeps adding and adding and adding to the pain. Absolutely. And that was actually, I was going to do a show on that last night, and then I had to renege on it, which I felt horrible about. But Mr. FX Black, if you have anything to say about that, just keep it coming and I'll read it. It's disgusting. We absolutely have money for reparations. I'm sorry, we do. We just don't want to do it. I mean, this is coming from a country whose president is an open, he's the de facto modern leader of the Ku Klux Klan for modern times, and a country where half the white adults think racism's over. So we got issues beyond. Let me see here. Neil, let me see. CNN chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta, I know for his rough and tumble, known for his rough and tumble verbal battles with President Trump, likely raised eyebrows among CNN viewers on Tuesday night when he praised the president's new tone at the latest White House briefing, claiming this was a different Trump. I'm seeing a different Trump too, a little bit here and there. But he's mentally ill. That's a great point. He's mentally ill. He can't control himself. He literally cannot control himself. But Robin Hood. Oh, is that from Robin Hood? Oh my God, that's so funny. Thank you. I just forgot what movie. I'm getting old. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Let me see here. Ghost Killer. Conservatives want us to die. These fools believe it's nothing but the flu. Shake my head. It's stronger than the flu. It kills people. Right. It's, yeah. I get into that in a few minutes too. Thank you, Mr. MS Black. I'm so bad for that kind of thing. Kitchen politics. If we have money for non-ending wars, then we have money for reparations. People are contributing to my eye surgery fund because of your podcast. Oh, right now? Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Am I allowed to say it's my friend David? He is just really struggling. And his eyes, we need his eyes to see. I can't imagine him being blind in one eye. And he's a great, great man. So sorry, I'm not going to get all emotional. Ron, it's always been about priorities, plain and simple. Thank you. When I first heard the argument that we don't have enough money, my laugh alone did not suffice. I'm sorry. That's total BS. It's a total lie. Just another lie. Another lie. We just don't want to. We seem to cough it up for everything else we need, for wars and for doing horrible things to people and other reparations. And I mean, it's ridiculous. No matter what you feel about reparations, don't lie and say we can't afford it. That's just a bullshit and lie. Oops. Sorry. And that I cannot stand. Great point, Ron. Thank you. Kitchen politics, Ron Harris, exactly priorities. That's all it is. But these people are con people or con men or whatever. Neil, there was too much pork, but in the 2.2 trillion package from both sides. Jillian, welcome. I didn't know you were here. It's a strong possibility that Trump might not win re-election. honestly, Jillian, I thought about something today, and this is going to make me sound like a really rotten person, but he is such a cruel, cruel man. This is what I thought. Like, okay, this sounds stupid. You think she's such a nerd. If he ever leaves, I don't care if he goes to jail. I don't care where he goes. As long as he's out of our lives and out of my fellow humans' lives forever and gone, I don't care where I am. I don't care if it's 8 in the morning or 6 I'm having the biggest ice cream sundae. And yes, I'm a nerd. I am going to celebrate and just have the biggest ice cream sundae. I remember the night he was elected, I was up till 3 in the morning with somebody who is disabled and has children that are disabled because he was suicidal, and it was real for him. And I will never forget the sick, I don't want to get into it, but I hope so. I can only hope so. I don't even want to get my hopes up because it's just too hard to. Today, Pence seeks to blame CDC in China for delays in U.S. coronavirus response, not Trump's initial failure to face reality. Oh, well, you know what? We are getting so many excuses from everywhere, like this, that, there. Really, it's embarrassing. I can't keep up with it. I was like in tears today because I can't keep up with the news to write a coherent, rant because it's changing so much. But did you guys know that in 2017 and 2018, 2 times, Bill Gates, love him, hate him, neutral, don't know, whatever, met privately. Now, he does not like Trump. He met privately with Trump. And he met specifically to talk about a campaign for preparedness and research into a universal vaccine into getting our country. This is 2017 and 2018. This man, who doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to, he's done so much in Africa, and he's delved into reading research papers. I saw a whole special on him. Research papers in his spare time, PhD theses of the most cutting edge PhD stuff for African viruses and ways to help people from starvation and whatnot, that he's kind of made himself an expert in this area. And it's his passion now. And he is basically, he met with Trump twice, and he must have left beside himself because he said Trump, in this documentary, it was kind of saying, oh yeah, we'll do this, this, and this, but he wouldn't fund anything. So he was basically giving him the company line, which is not a chance. And so this guy, you should see the TED Talks. He went to, the man doesn't even believe in science. You stole my line, Ghost Killa. Yeah, it's just crazy. He's not just destroying our country. He's destroying people. He's destroying lives. He's destroying spirits. Whenever you think about our founding fathers, he and his clan were precisely what they were talking about. I mean, if you read some of the stuff, I know I've, quoted it on here before. I'm like, that's him. They're talking about him. Kitchen politics. That 133 million or more that idiot Trump spent for his golf trips could have bought ventilators and medical equipment hospitals needed. He has the nerve to blame the CDC, China, and past administrations. Hey, he is the baby that around 6 or 7, and they're still babies, his ability to take responsibility is about, I don't know, 5. Am I giving him too much credit? Am I insulting 5 and 6-year-olds? The man cannot take responsibility. It was so crazy. Did anyone see the the governor of New York say, was it the governor of New York? I think he said, like, the buck stops here. He was like it was amazing. And then, not my fault. I didn't do anything. He's like, I don't think it's about blaming, but the way what he did and how he did it was just the arrogance, the ignorance, so I won't get into it, but it was such a dichotomy. I was like, man, this guy's stepping up to the plate. And then there's 45 who's honestly, at the level, the cognitive, social level of like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6. You guys tell me. I don't want to insult anyone who's 5 and 6, but his newest excuse, he and his clan. The reason they delayed in January because the Democrats made them focus on impeachment. That was mean of them. They made them focus on impeachment, you see? And that is a whole nother. Jillian, how's it going? I'm glad you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm having a rough time with this, but I'm good. Thank you. Nails and glitter. He's incapable of taking personal, right? Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, that's part of, honestly, I haven't pegged. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't think it takes a psychiatrist. I think he has a personality disorder, among other, he has some OCD things. Just give me my honorary PhD right now, and let's get it over with. But yeah, he's a scary dude. And the scariest part, if he was just doing his own thing, it would be great. But he's impacting us. And it's really scary. And I hold him 100. Okay, let me reword that. I hold him 1,000% accountable. People are telling him, they're begging him to do things. And no, he knows best. He knows, Mr. I don't believe in science. So it was the impeachment, you guys. That was what it was. Nancy Pelosi pointed out that this latest, it was the impeachment. I think it indicates he needs to be impeached again, personally. I mean, that's a person who's incapable of running a country. That's a person who's incompetent. For a really nice way to put it, incompetent. I want to say more. I kind of have a potty mouth. I hope that's not too offensive. But because I'm on YouTube, I'm being very nice. He's incompetent. She says that just means he's incompetent at handling national crises, and that basically by saying that, by giving a reason, the impeachment, he's admitting he's incompetent, that he delayed doing this. This is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So Trump's continuous pontificating about how his gut tells him differently, his gut, than what the world's foremost experts, doctors, nurses, scientists, as well as the United States governors and the leaders of every country. What kind of freaking arrogance? Who does he think he is? My God. He's absolutely okay with risking everyone's life and hurting everybody. And it's beyond, it's surreal. Also in the news, Trump has been accusing the states of lying. Now they're all liars. Trump doesn't believe that the states need as much medical equipment, and the numbers couldn't be right because his gut tells him. Well, no offense, Trump. I don't give a shit what your gut tells you. I'm going to go with the world's foremost experts. What can I say? Call me crazy, but it's insane. Kitchen politics. Do you think that every media house should ignore these press conferences that the president has? I find it to be utter garbage. Dr. Fauci, is that his name? I will listen to, but not Trump or Pence. Trump or Pence, they're freaking morons. And I'm not a big name caller. But I don't know what to say. They're worse than that. They're evil. Yeah, they won't, but I think he should be impeached again. I mean, and this time, how about this? And I know he can't be supposedly because of the emergency and all that, and how convenient. I think they should put every single. I mean, one of my shows covered like the top ones in 2,000 breaches of of you're not supposed to do it when you're a president kind of stuff that could be impeachable offenses. There was 2,000. I picked like the best ones, the worst, which is like the worst ones or the best, the worst of the best of the worst. I don't know. I'll shut up. But yeah, there's so many things. I've never seen any president that's out of control. I'm kind of old, so I mean, definitely. Even Republican presidents, I might not have agreed with their politics, but I had at least some sort of respect for the fact that they kind of believed in science, the basics, believed in science, picked people to be in their cabinet who actually fit the positions and weren't going to destroy and dismantle our government, people who believed in our Constitution, who weren't going to circumvent it and sleazy, ugh. Anyway. Nails and glitter. President Dingus says such ridiculous things. I have to watch the press conferences myself to believe he says it. Ghost Killer. Remember the White House reported 100,000 to 240,000 Americans would die from the corona if we don't stop this pandemic? Yep. They want us to die, folks. Oh, you know what the craziest part is? Him asking all these, or his kind of like, I guess you could call them cult. His cult followers believe that we should sacrifice elderly people so Trump can have his economy, like money over people. And I'm thinking to myself, and this is absolutely not something I believe as a 100%, but a lot of his constituents are way, way, way older. And I'm thinking that's not really, it's not really a smart thing to do because anyway, I will get into it, but anyway, most recently, he has said that the people on the front lines have been stealing medical equipment. He says that Dr. Fauci, if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. I know I am. I tried to say it 5 times today. He disagrees with him, this brilliant doctor. Trump disagrees. He thinks some of the cool things that they're using for other illnesses will be great. Okay, Trump doesn't believe in science. I don't think Trump could read the word science. But, what he doesn't get is his opinion, and what a lot of people around him don't get, is not remotely equivalent to somebody who is the world's foremost expert. I'm sorry, I always use this analogy. If I'm going to the moon, I'm happy for you. You watched Apollo 13, and I'm glad you liked the movie. But I'll be getting my information and top, basically cutting edge stuff. I'll be getting it from a scientist with a PhD who's had 3 moonwalks, not you. It's my God. So he's telling people that there's vaccines and there's treatments, and the guy is basically in the back going, I don't know how he does it. Direct contradiction to medical experts. The list just goes on and on. He's willing to. Ghost Killer, gotta go. Thank you for being here, Ghost Killer. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and your input. Kitchen politics. Oh, nails and glitter. Sorry, I didn't mean. He's willing to sacrifice his voters. Yeah, he's just, the man is just, okay. Absolutely. It's just unbelievable. Kitchen politics. They were saying Obamacare would be setting up death panels. Now they were saying Obamacare would be setting up death panels. Now with the COVID-19, he's willing for older people to die because he cares about the economy and worried about his reelection. Below scum. Yeah, he's willing to throw grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, our beloved relatives, because he wants to be reelected and he likes money. I'm sorry. He can go F himself. I honestly, it's blah. Listen to me rant and rave. So recently, of course, we've been talking about, the far right have been advocating for older Americans to sacrifice themselves for the economy. Honestly, over my dead body, I just, that's where that we're even thinking that that's something that people weren't laughing at that going, yeah, right, speaks to where we're at. And, they think, we'll throw the older, 50 and up. Hello, not happening in my watch. Not a chance. Vaccines are the most regulated drug in America. Safety testing alone takes 18 months. Right. He doesn't, he clearly, how do I put this? Knows not what he speaks. And finally, last week, Trump and his lovely administration declined a proposal to offer open enrollment to 28 million uninsured Americans, while our nation is in the middle of the worst pandemic I've ever known in my life. I don't know about you guys, if you've experienced, pandemics, but this is my first. He's disgusting. He won't allow people the chance now to get health care. If this isn't the case for universal health care, then I don't know what is. He said he would pay for the tests, which aren't available, not in my hospital, as of tonight. Well, we'll get into that later. They are not available in my hospital near me. He'll pay for the test, but not the treatment. What is wrong with that man? What is wrong with him? It's rhetorical. We don't know. Jillian, we all know Trump is screwed in the worst possible way. So I'm just wondering how this election is going to go. I would like to say, oh, people are coming around. But for me, Jillian, and this is just like my thing. After I heard what he did to the Central Park 5 boys who are now men and have had their lives completely traumatized for the rest, and their families for the rest of their lives, they will never be. I'm like, that is pure evil. The 564 million other things he's done, if they didn't believe that it's bad then, I honestly think nothing. I think if he murdered small babies on TV, they would praise him. He had to do it. I think they're brainwashed. Something's wrong with them. He's been using psyops. Go to my psyops video. The company called Cambridge Analytica got shut down. And that's what he used to try to brainwash people on Facebook and using military science that we use for warfare, that we use to try to get things, people to do what we want, and it works. 4 of the people from Cambridge Analytica made their own company, and Trump is a client. So when I say he brainwashed them, I mean it literally. It's a form of brainwash, what he did. He did it over time, individually. If you watch the video and you haven't heard of this, you will freak, because you'll be like, yeah, right, this is crazy, but you can just look everything up. But no, he pinpointed the purple states, and not just the states, certain areas and districts. And he purposely got, they got the data on, 3,000 points of data on every American supposedly. And they took the people who were swayable and they worked on them over time. Just present, no 2 people got the same treatment. I mean, this is science, social science. And you guys should, if you haven't seen that, look at the video. You will be like, what the actual, oh my God, it's crazy. Let me see here. I just, Jillian, I hope so much. I don't believe anymore in my fellow humans that way. They allowed 7 children to die in custody when 10 years earlier, no child had ever died in custody for 10 full years. And it's just, I don't even know where to start. Mr. Evelstock, if you've ever seen footage of the brutal way people are tested for COVID-19, it'll make you question whether or not it's worth it. Footage of the brutal way people are tested. Okay, tell me more, maybe. I know I was absolutely crying the other day. I'm like confessing. I read an article about a lady who, and I am not going to get teary on this. I read an article about a lady who had the virus and her husband was dying of the virus, and they wouldn't let her say goodbye to him. She had the virus, like he's going to give it to her. And you know what she said? She said, I think he'll believe that I abandoned him. I wanted to tell him I wasn't abandoning him They wouldn't let me come in. And I just burst into tears. I was like, I can't, I'm sorry. That's what she said. He died and he probably thought I was abandoning him, but they wouldn't let her in. I'd be in prison. I'd be in jail because honestly, I want to get into it. Anyway, that would be my great jail experience. John, hello. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Thrilled to have you. They shove a long Q-tip in your nose, the back of your throat, nasal cavity swab. Yeah, isn't that what they do? I saw it done a couple times. I personally didn't find that to be barbaric. They have to get like your gross, mushy stuff in you. I was fine with that. I should tell you what people did to my eye. Okay, no, you'll get grossed out. But I didn't feel it, but it was really weird. A whole nother story for another day. Yeah, tell me more. I didn't know gross. I know you die of suffocation, basically. I know that. And it's awful. Les, no one is talking about the homeless. Yep. And I actually have a homeless friend that I love very dearly that I wish I could help. And a lot of the things that, this stimulus package is forgetting that actually everybody needs food, not just people Trump thinks are worthy. So, yeah, that. I know, Les, it's think about what people are doing in other countries. Think about that for a minute. What's going on? Have you guys been reading about what people are doing in other countries? Look at Canada. It's like we Americans live a lie. Not just the lie of systemic racism and total, not just that lie on an economic. We don't give a shit about our fellow humans. We don't. Unless they're like really rich or have something to offer us. Capitalism on steroids. Neil, they are doing that all over the country, not letting at least one family member in the room if someone is dying of the virus. Neil, if something happens to my family members, I'll lose it. They will have to literally put me in. I don't want to get into it. That's just so fucked up. It's not even funny. Maybe we can do something about that because that's sick. That's, to my understanding, the test is free, but if you get test positive and you need treatment shortly after that, you're bankrupt. Oh yeah, absolutely, Les. No, he won't pay for it, right? Yeah, absolutely. Democracy Now did a story. Oh, Democracy Now did a story on the homeless. Okay, I love that show. I'll try to grab it and see if I can learn a little bit more because this is not good. So the ending of my rant's gone on and on. The ending of my rant. Oh, another question, another comment. McConnell claims impeachment diverted the attention of Trump's administration from coronary response. Oh, please. Do you think McConnell stands a chance of being reelected? It's Kentucky, after all. Absolutely. No, this country loves their racism more than they love themselves. So we white people love our racism. It's like I always say, it's like a sick relationship. We love our racism. Yeah, no, I think he'll win. See, here's the thing. When these people get elected, they're elected because of racism. Not in spite of it or despite it or whatever. No, because of it. And I truly believe with all my heart that that's why Trump was elected. Point blank, we finally found our Klan leader. They could give the family members protection like the doctors and nurses and wear if their loved one is dying from the virus. Absolutely. Neil, there is never, I say almost never, an excuse for inhumanity and not allowing someone who you love to be with you, if that's what you want, when you're passing away, is barbaric. How dare they? And I am not on the front lines. I do not know, but I'm telling you right now, some things matter, and that's one of them. And this lady, her last quote was, he's going to think I abandoned him. That just, oh my God. That's because that's what I would think. I would think that. Like my child, if I couldn't, they wouldn't let me in there. I don't want to think about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a really, really hard topic for me. Yep. My aunt is a nurse, and nurses are striking because the hospitals won't give them masks. It's unbelievable. It's literally unbelievable. I saw people in plastic outfits, like plastic bags. And then they go home to their kids and, their loved ones. The whole Obamacare thing, not letting people at least have a chance to pay for. We had Obamacare. It was extreme. It was $30,000 for our family's coverage one year. $30,000. It was way more than we'd ever paid in our entire lives. We couldn't afford it, but we had to. And you know what? I'd do it again in a heartbeat if it meant everyone could have health care. Because like I said the last time I was on here, I am not okay with my neighbor and my fellow humans dying of some curable disease. No, I'm not okay. I'll pay more. I'll sell something. I'll do what it takes. It's not okay. Oh my goodness. I've heard 2 stories about nurses quitting because of the lack of protective equipment. Yeah, how can you do this to your family? I mean, your first priority has to be to, like, if you have like 5 little children or something, my God. I mean, I know they're bringing back tons and tons of retired people, which I think's awesome. Like 3,000 something. I read about that today. Kitchen politics. Watching people's reaction to reality show Tiger King reminds me that everyone didn't grow up in Florida. Trump is the tiger president. We have become the dumbed down. We got Tiger Kings as U.S. president. You know what? I don't watch that show, so I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe I'm sure people understand your comments and analogies. Is it like a TV show? I don't watch TV. I don't think I have like cable for TV, but let me see. Neil, I must admit that there are more and more companies stepping up to help make equipment and masks for health work. Yeah. And that's, I don't think all people are bad. Don't get me wrong. But right, Neil, great point. But you know what? Some things need to be deal breakers, like systemic racism, cruel bigotry with nothing to, such severe inequality and lack of equity that you and your people or your group don't have a chance. Yet we continue to talk about America, liberty and justice for all. It's a lie. It doesn't have to be a lie, though. It doesn't have to be a lie. We could do this. We just don't want to. The rich people just love being rich, and we pray down to them. They're rich. I'm going to keep going because I really want to get to my main topic tonight, because it was something that I was working on really hard, and I bet I might lose the whole audience, but it's something it's crazy. I'll get to it in a second. So we have Trump bragging about instructing Pence to not call back governors who weren't nice to him. Tried to insult injury on Sunday. Trump tweets about his TV ratings. For his TV ratings, we have to watch him because he's supposed to be the freaking president. Good night, Les. Thank you so much for being here. You know I love when you come here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's insane. So Trump chose to ignore the numerous people who are literally in his, surroundings begging him to take action. He refused because he knows best. And now innocent people will die because of his ignorant, arrogant, self-aggrandizing ways. He is responsible for killing his constituents. And I do not say that lightly. but I absolutely blame him and his clan. Because you know what? The idea that some lives are less important than others is truly the root, and I'm quoting somebody, this is not my quote, the root of all evil. And that's Paul Farmer, and he was a doctor who went all over the place trying to help people who didn't have doctors to take care of them. And I agree. I couldn't agree more. Mr. F.S. Black. I haven't watched the show, but I'm hearing more and more about that Tiger King guy being a notorious racist. I'll have to look into that. I don't know. So whenever we have these shows, if you feel like talking about what, has happened in your life with the pandemic and getting personal, please feel free to do that. Okay. Because this is really tough stuff. I'm going to skip down to the part that, does anybody want to talk about the Supreme Court ruling? Yes, he is. Oh my gosh, you got dinged for saying the word racist. Oh no, you didn't. Tiger King and the F word. I was like, wow. Okay, got it. I was like, dang, they're strict. Wow, I don't really know about that, but I'm gonna look it up. Supreme Court ruling. Oh, Dawn, hello. I agree with you, King. 45 is guilty of murder. So is Michigan's former governor Rick Snyder over the Flint water. I was going to say high five, but we don't do that anymore. Boom. Yep. Thanks, Dawn, for. I do not say it lightly, but these are human lives. Oh my God. I mean, I'd even have more respect if he even said, "Oh, I screwed up. I did." He never admit, never. But so I'm going to go through this really fast because I want people to know. And I know it's kind of bedtime for everybody, so maybe I'll do a video for this instead. But this week, the Supreme Court of the United States handed down a decision in the case of Byron Allen versus Comcast. And I've done 3 other videos on it. And this is a case that's extremely significant to Black Americans specifically. And it will be to all Americans eventually, like I was saying earlier, but some of us just don't quite know it yet. The ruling created a tougher standard that will make it very hard for people to sue over discriminations in employment and other contract negotiations. He was going for a really, really big thing. And I don't know him. Just from what I've read, but I really, really am thankful that he took it upon himself to use his own money to do this. And it's not over, but it is kind of over. I think he can go back to lower courts and then try again. But what was even a bigger surprise, as many of us probably knew, is that 9 Supreme Court judges voted against the case. 9. That means that the liberal judges did too. Maybe I'm missing something. If I am, I want to know. I never read the the findings afterwards. I've been following the case, but the case alleges, if you haven't been following it, that Comcast systematically kept Black media owners out of the industry. This is not a case about not letting, not hiring somebody for something. This is a case about systematically making sure that they do not share in the wealth. Sound familiar? Sound real familiar. I believe that 45 fired the Pandemic Commission because it was established by President Obama. Absolutely. He's got some serious poof. In the same way that he's undone everything else Obama did. It's really sick, and that's how he rolls. You're right, Ronald. You were right. He is so personally insecure, and he cannot stand that an upstanding man with active melanated, melanation inside his body dared to be this great president that so many looked up to and that he could never, never be. It literally must kill him. Because Obama, love him, hate him, whatever, was a good man. He was somebody where you couldn't, he was somebody that you could say, he's got your back. And Trump knows he could never be that, and it must just kill him. Plus, he was raised by, KKK people, so I guess he has this like crazy hatred for Black people, and it's insane. Kitchen politics. Senator Bernie Sanders proposes $2,000 a month cash payment until the end of the coronavirus. What is everyone? Yes, absolutely. That would get people by. Bernie Sanders is my guy. I know, me too, Nails and Glitter, me too. Really tough. I would vote for him in a heartbeat. Neil, where's the money going to come from? Ronald, yes, that's why 45 is obsessing about a Nobel Prize. Right. Mm-hmm. I have to tell you a story that was told when I was, I'm blanking on his name, but anyway, Bill Gates. Okay. If you see Bill Gates did a documentary. He tells a story about Trump, and it's kind of funny because I don't think Bill Gates is like really petty or anything like that, but he just had to tell the story. And he said one time he was at like this big party with that Trump came to, and he and his kids saw Trump and they knew who he was. And then all of a sudden he left and he came back to the party in a helicopter, making a huge entrance. And so Bill Gates is, his thing is that I guess he like wasn't getting enough attention or something. And so he came back to have this staged entrance. I mean, the man is in love with himself. Let me see. Nails and Glitter won't vote Trump or Biden. Mr. F is like, is there a statistic for how many layoffs there's been during this pandemic? Oh, I'm sure there is. It's probably, accumulating exponentially as well. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that, but I'm sure somebody's tracking that. Kitchen politics. It wouldn't surprise me if Trump had strong feelings for women of color. Some men always obsess over what they can't have. Trump has a racial fetish. Hashtag racial fetish, you think? Personally, I could give a shit. He's a psycho. I think he's just crazy, but that's a little theory. You can push that if you want. You are funny. He's a strange guy, but anyway, the case of Comcast is alleged. The case alleged that Comcast systematically held Black people, kept Black people from being media owners. They kept them out of the industry. For those of you who don't know, Byron Allen is a Black man, and he alleges that, and he's a wealthy Black man who's done very well for himself. He alleged that Comcast and Entertainment Studios Network, who are cable giants, discriminated against him in a contract dispute when it decided to not carry his network. The case had some strange aspects. I mean, like sick shit. Like, okay, first of all, this wasn't it. I'll tell you, the sick stuff was Trump was involved. For people who don't know about this, Trump got involved. Trump had nothing to do with it. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. First, Allen sued under Section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. It's a Reconstruction era law that guarantees that all people have the same right to contracts as is enjoyed by white citizens. And that was a protection clause put in, a protection law put in so that people couldn't say, you might be qualified, but we're not taking you. Allen alleged that his race was a motivating factor in Comcast's decision not to carry his network, and he argued that this should have been illegal under Section 1981 from 1866. It's important to understand precisely what Byron Allen was suing over. Allen said, Comcast will talk about diversity and how many shows they have with Black people, but we're not talking about, and this is a quote from him, we're not talking about that. We're talking about ownership. Black ownership is what is necessary. Okay. And he gets that, and he wants everybody to get that. And I absolutely get what he's saying. It's nice to get a job, but ownership is the way to accumulate wealth. And we all know that. So Byron Allen went on to say, out of the billions that Comcast spends, he wants to know how much is going to an African-American owned media company. Not how many black faces you put on TV. I mean, which is definitely matters, but he's talking more than that. He wants to have influence about what his little children see on TV. When they see themselves, they need to see themselves as wonderful. And their image needs to be from the eyes of somebody who lives it, not somebody who has no clue. The other strange and disgusting aspect was Trump was involved. He had nothing to do with this, just like he had nothing to do with the Central Park Five other than he had to put his sick racist opinion in. He must have heard there was some sort of human rights being afforded and jumped right on it. I can't imagine how he got involved. But he's involved. So Allen told Culture Banks, which is online, and it might be offline too, Comcast and NBC Universal teaming up with Donald Trump's Department of Justice to eviscerate a civil rights statute in the United States Supreme Court is shameful, evil, and the epitome of American institutionalized racism. And not that my opinion matters, but I couldn't agree with him more. The most depraved part of it was that Comcast argued that Allen needed to show that deep, malicious racism was the only 100%, the only thing Comcast executives were thinking about when they decide to shut him out. Here's the problem. That's impossible. That standard's impossible. Comcast's position holds that African-American litigants or anyone else who falls under this protection, they hold that they have to be held to a nearly impossible standard. It's impossible to prove 100% that a decision was made just because of race. Who's going to admit that? If a defendant names even one reason, which they obviously can just make up, other than race, then they're allowed to discriminate. This basically makes the defendant have to admit that the only reason they wouldn't let him or anyone, be privileged to what they had is because they were Black. Who is going to admit that? Nobody. Anyway, I'll take some comments. This is just insane. Let me take some comments here. Nails and Glitter. Do you see what he did to Yamish from PBS this Sunday when she asked him about what he said to Sean Hannity? I think, yeah. I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That he's just like telling, it's awful. It's embarrassing. Yeah. His new thing is to say stuff like that. That's a mean question. He's like a child, a young child. Nails. Oh, wait a second. Kitchen politics. Neil, they can find money for other things, but not reparations, and $2,000 a month until coronavirus ends or subsides. Yeah, as they like to always say, we're a rich nation, not quite rich enough for reparations. And I don't care if you're for them or against them. You can't lie, and say we don't have the money. If you're against them, then step up to the friggin' plate and say you're against them. Don't lie and say you don't have the money. That's just bullshit. Act like a freaking, I don't know. If you say you're against them and you're that, at least if you're going to be a racist piece of shit, at least be honest. Is that kind of like, at least be honest? Be an honest one. I don't know how to put that, but I guess. Oh my gosh. Nails and Glitter. You're right. We are at about 32% unemployment right now. Is that right? Did I miss her? My God, I skipped over my Nails and Glitter. Oh, I did. We're projected to hit 30% unemployment. Yeah. Oh my God. And Trump is holding people who have child support. He's holding their checks. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but he's holding checks. He's making people who are on disability file a tax return before they get their money. In a pandemic? These are elderly people. These are severely disabled people. What, are they just going to go down to, the tax store and get, my God, all to say how much they make. Our government knows how much they make. Our government keeps track of how much they make because they give them the money they make. So this whole thing is anything to, and oh my gosh, I just remembered something. That's what Trump's comment. Did anybody catch wind of Trump's comment admitting that some of the stuff in the stimulus bill would have made it so Republicans, for voting rights, Republicans will never get elected ever if they allow all those people to vote. He was talking about our citizens. I'm like, raise your hand. Do you remember? He is so depraved. He admits basically that all the stuff they do with voter suppression, he basically admitted it, is all very purposeful. And I mean, we all knew it, but he's not even a good liar. That my point is. He's not even a good liar. My point is just to blab. Okay. Let me see. What did I? Okay. Nails and glitter. Tax the rich and corporations. There's plenty of money. Oh, yeah. You know how many companies? You see the list of companies who are, multimillionaires and billionaires, and they don't pay a tax, and their secretaries pay a higher percent taxes than they do. That's just not right. Kitchen politics. The establishment are fully owned and paid by the 1%, Wall Street. It must always be about the people, not corporations who are not people. Absolutely. And corporations are not people. They're just not. Terrible. Nails and glitter. I don't disagree with you about the reparations money, but both sides put in their pork to get them to pass the stimulus bill. Yeah, I know, but it's, both sides. You're right. Neil, that money could have been used for reparations. I guess my point for it all, not that my point, as a white person, I don't really have a point. It's not my place, but the whole lie was, we don't have the money. Well, that's just a lie. And this, we all knew it anyway, but this just kind of proves it. I mean, it's horrible. I don't even know what to say. But I know what you're saying, Neil. I think the parties are the problem, Neil says. Nails and glitter. I think the system is the problem. Any system that allows genocide and slavery was corrupt from the beginning. Yeah, good point. Yep. Kitchen politics. The coronavirus has really messed up April Fool's Day, didn't it? Then again, every day is April Fool's Day with Trump as Yep. Poof. Yeah. I know. This is our first April Fool's I can remember where I was like, whatever. There's nothing that I could say. Dingus always says the quiet part out loud. Yeah, it's just like, he's like that person that just can't. He can't. He's like, and this is a weird analogy because it's kind of like lowering he's like the person that you accidentally put in your Facebook group when your Facebook group is educating people about racism, and somebody comes, your admin says, oh, I think I put someone in wrong. And what I tell them? Don't worry, they'll show themselves. They will be so triggered by life. They will show themselves within a day. And they always do. Trump is so triggered because his poor self-esteem or, self-image, I don't know which one it is, or both. He can't help himself. It's like, he's a nightmare. Let me see. So just to get, I want to kind of wrap up Byron Allen's stuff, because I actually wrote to him. Yes, I'm that nerd. I know he probably won't get it, but I just wrote to him to thank him for what he did, because he didn't have a press conference afterwards. I couldn't find a single thing where he was on quoting, saying stuff. He must have been devastated. That's all I can think of, is he must have been devastated. He didn't even, so I wrote a letter to him. Yes, I'm that nerd. I wrote a letter to him just thanking him for trying because that matters. So basically, the defendant must admit that the only thing stopping them was because the person was black, and they're never going to admit that. So they basically made it so that discrimination is more legal than it was before. According to the union, racist corporate executives don't make a habit of walking around saying, I won't give that guy a contract. I would give that guy a contract if he weren't black. No one's going to say that. They're not, they know they've protected their racism and tried to know what they can, how far they can push it for a long time. And when they do, and they said, and when they do think and act like that, they rarely include it in an email. I mean, that's pretty much how it would have to be. Someone's confession. That's the bar is too high. That's not right. That's not right. The level necessary, and that's why Trump got involved, is because he loves to be racist and he hates to be called on it. The level necessary to disprove, to prove discrimination is an impossible one, essentially rendering the protection ineffective. According to the Nation, which is where I got a lot of my information from because they had really great writers, under Comcast logic, all of their executives could, now listen to this, could have met with Allen while wearing MAGA hats and asked him which shithole country he was from and where his ancestors came from, and then simply told Allen that they weren't going to carry his network because of economic reasons. It has to be 100% the sole reason, and you have to be able to prove it. Give me a break. The bottom line, according to the Nation, is that as long as employers don't talk the way they talked back in 1866, and they don't write any of it down or record stuff, they can treat racial minorities, and this is a quote from them, as if we were living in 1866. And that, my friends, is terrifying. That is taking us back. I mean, anyway. So I got through it. I wanted to get through it. Let me see what else. I'll take a couple more comments from everybody, and then I want to thank everybody who stuck it out tonight and stayed. Cannot thank you enough for being here. Let me see. Kitchen Politics asking Neil, would a multi-party system make things worse? Think Israel, their political system with multi-parties, not two single parties, have a monopoly. Kitchen Politics. It seems like Stephen King wrote the script for the 2020 with Quentin Tarantino's being the director. Can I return 2020? Throwing mantra. Trial date has long passed and I don't want to go. Oh my gosh, that's very cute. I've never heard that before. That's cute. Nails and Glitter. He said he wanted the American government to show their racism, and I think it was expected, not devastating. They did show the racism in American law. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I must have missed that interview. I know you spoke a lot way before. Are you talking about Byron Allen? Yeah. They showed it all right. They showed it all right. I just was shocked that all 9, maybe I need to read the finding, and maybe there's something I'm missing, but sadly, it's like what happened before the video. No, it doesn't matter what happened before the video. It just doesn't. Making something that is in a person's psyche and their mind and their character, you can't prove that 100% ever. That's ridiculous. That's rendering it a moot point. I mean, so anyway, I'm blabbing. Oh, one more comment. Neil, there should be multiple party systems because there would not be a monopoly, in my opinion. Good job. Well, thank you so much for being here. I know people are just really, I mean, let's be real. People are freaking out over this coronavirus, and understandably so. Trump is still lying and giving people shit. I was sick 2 weeks ago, really sick with the flu. And now I know why my doctor told me not to come in. My doctor told me not to come in because she knew we don't have any tests. And as of 7 p.m. tonight, we still don't have any tests in my area. So, I mean, when he says there's a test for everyone, he is such a liar. God, what a liar. Let me see. Kitchen politics. Get rid of the electoral college that is set up to cater our two-party system. A third-party candidate stands no chance. TR tried but failed, and Theodore Roosevelt was popular. And Nails and Glitter says, yes. And I want to say thank you so much for being here. I skipped a bunch of stuff because I wanted to get through it. TR was a Republican before it got weird. Thank you so much for being here. If anyone is watching that is not a subscriber, please subscribe and ring the bell. I try to get out lots of videos. Things have been a little crazy lately with the coronavirus craze, but I appreciate your support. So if you believe, like I do, that it is way past time for white America and every majority group in America to learn our real racial history and learn the history of all people who are considered numerical minorities, because these are our people. You can say they're not, but it doesn't make it true. These are our fellow humans. These are our brothers and sisters. These are the people who we need to be there for. Kitchen politics. True dat. Yeah. So, and until white folks catch on, the only thing we can do is just keep trying to educate them. That's what I'm going to do. Just keep at it. Thanks for being here. Good night, y'all. And please check out David's GoFundMe. If you can't give, absolutely fine. Just I don't have any groups. Well, because I was kicked off of Facebook. I only have like 1 or 2 groups I can do and send them to. But if everybody just sent it to one group or 2 or 3 or 20, then we could really get this passed around. And I know it's asking a lot, but David is such a, well, I think if you're regular on the show, Kitchen Politics is David, and he's an incredible man in very, very bad circumstances, and he needs our help. So please consider, just maybe right before you go to bed or something, or just whenever you can, share it around, because he needs us, and I can't think of a nicer guy. He's a good guy. So good night, everybody. Check out my new videos. One of my videos is so intense that people are like, ew, what's wrong with it? My last video was about Martin Niemöller. It's kind of intense, but intense times. Hey, so good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and please stay safe. Away from six feet or whatever it is. Keep away, and let me know how you're doing. Okay. Good night, everybody. Now to end this. Good night.